So, welcome to the Modern Mystics podcast. I'm Cassia.
I'm Stephanie.
Chandresh, honored to be here.
Thank you for introducing yourself. So today I'm incredibly excited to welcome you to the Modern Mystics podcast. Modern tantric teacher, author, spiritual mentor, visiting us all the way from Los Angeles. CB, as his friends call him, comes from a deeply rooted tantric lineage and has spent more than 15 years guiding creatives, leaders, and seekers into deeper clarity, truth, and purpose. He blends ancient tantric wisdom with a fresh, grounded approach for the modern world, helping people not just understand spirituality, but actually live it.
I love that.
Welcome.
I feel very flattered. Yeah, just hearing everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. This feels so nice too, because you're our first masculine energy on the podcast, and we've been craving this. So,
really?
So we're very, very excited to have you.
Has there been more feminine, more women? Yeah.
Yeah, all women so far. Yeah. But we've been very excited for this
So
conversation.
I hope I set a certain vibe to match the masculine
absolutely.
Space, right? Yeah.
So the first question that I had, we're friends and I know a bit about you, but I want everyone else to learn more about you too. So when people hear 7th generation Tantra teacher, they imagine this destiny.
Right.
So did you ever feel the pressure of that? Or how was that growing up? Can you tell us about your childhood?
Growing up was not a pressure because it felt very normal. And one of the reason it felt normal because I grew up in India. Spirituality, religion, it's a very common lingo there. And my father, who's my guru, my teacher, he practiced outside the state, outside the home state. So I didn't see him, working as a guru, in my hometown. In my hometown, I lived a very normal life. But when he would visit us or when we would go there, then I would notice that he seems special. I mean, I would see a lot of interesting people, creatives, political leaders sitting, taking advice from him. So then I used to think of my father, maybe, he seems someone important, but he would dress up so simple, lived always very simply. Even now, he's a very simple guy at heart. So then I would be like, no, because my friends' parents who were important, they would, of course, show their power, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up in a very small town. So anyone who had even a little bit of power, they'll show that fully. So I didn't feel anything extraordinary, honestly, growing up. But after I grew up, basically the late teens, or after I moved from India to New York, then I had a full picture, who my lineage is or where I come from. There's a very beautiful incident, actually. I think I've not shared that anywhere. So I had a childhood best friend. I was visiting him and I saw his father. I was like, "Uncle, your photo is in our family album." And he said, "What's my picture doing in your family album?" And he started asking, "Who's your father?" And, everything. And then he got to know, from where what my family is. And he was like, "Oh my God, do you even know what family you come from?" And I'm in 3rd grade, by the way. This is, we were babies. So he was the first one to, really tell me that this is a lineage of spirituality, philosophy, poets, writers. Until then, I was absolutely clueless. So there was no pressure, which turned out to be, I think, really, really good, at least at that age. Yeah.
But what about, you were telling me about the meaning of your name. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So my name, Chandresh. So it's a Sanskrit name. And the way Sanskrit language is, it's a combination of 2 elements, Chandra plus Ish. Chandra means moon, Ish means consciousness. So the name means master of consciousness.
No pressure, right?
So speaking of pressure, right?
Yeah.
So my grandfather, who's my guru's guru, right? My father's teacher, the Tantra guru, he named me Chandresh, and he said, this name will remind him what he's here for. And that's not the only thing he said about me. I have a full booklet where he wrote pages and pages within 30 minutes of after I was born. And somehow, again, I didn't feel the pressure. I always felt very honored that because his stories I still hear from people like nobody in our family has a Wikipedia. He's on Wikipedia, so he was really a very one of a kind, rare, intelligent being. So I always felt honored, and also that became my way of remembering him because he passed away when I was 5-year-old. And my school teachers would tell me in India, "Oh, Chandresh, do you know the meaning of the name?" So I think as I started to grow up, like teenage and later, the pressure definitely started to build. I think I feel more pressure today than I was, at the age of 7. Yeah.
Did you feel like, because you come from like 7th generation, did you feel like this is something that you had to do? Like, when did this become?
Did you want to do anything else?
Yeah, like, or when did this become something that you're like, yeah, actually, like I personally resonate with this, and I want to carry it on.
So no one ever told me that you should be doing this. I think in college, I started hearing from some students of my father's spiritual circle that I hope you do this because we want our kids to be guided by your lineage. So if I do it, then their kids, of course, who were babies then, they would be guided by me. But no one pressured me. I was what I really wanted to do as a kid was being a movie director. So I would write stories. I would mail those stories to Bombay because that's Bollywood.
Yeah.
But I never ever thought I would do what I'm doing now. I was very much into writing. Writing was my passion.
And still are.
I'm still It's still writing continues to save me, continue to give me meaning and remind me of my existence. Like, what am I doing in this circus? The pressure of being a spiritual teacher never happened. I remember making many choices in the process. And there was one moment when I'm major in finance and psychology. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm double major in finance and accounting.
That's amazing.
But I can't do anybody's taxes. I'm horrible at it. I love the stock market dynamic.
Sure. Yeah.
But accounting and all that, just I could never process. But I was in business school in New York studying and everything. So something happened in the school because 2 things happened. One, of course, I saw all the friends wanting validation from big 4 accounting firms. They wanted to be part of those big finance firms. I also wanted that only because everyone is wanting it. And I was also preparing for MBA. So, you get a better job. At the same time, somehow I got opportunity in the university newspaper to write a weekly column on philosophy, spirituality, all the things I write now. And I didn't know how to write properly, by the way, in English. So I would send the same article to a bunch of friends every day. They would edit and then I'll send it to the newspaper. So these both were walking in parallel. I was loving the writing part and not at all enjoying the accounting or finance part. But no one was enjoying it, honestly, around me. I mean, all the friends who were even getting A+, even they were not enjoying. So it normalized in my head. You don't have to enjoy it. You just have to get A+ and get a job. But when I was taking exam for GMAT, MBA, that's when it hit me that I think I'm creating my own cage.
That's what I felt when I was studying for the LSAT. Same
Oh, you
deal.
did? Yeah.
Studying for the LSAT. And I'm like, what am I doing? I don't think I want to do this. And I was like really snappy with my son. So it wasn't like that long ago. He was like a baby, but yeah. And it was at that point when I'm like, I think God has a different plan for me. Wow. Yeah. So sorry to interrupt you.
Did you complete the exam?
No, I didn't do it. I was like pre-law and that was like, and I thought I should get a good job, support your son and do all the things. But I just feel, just pulled in a different direction.
Wow.
So anyways,
I also
that resonates.
didn't complete the exam.
Really?
Yeah, I was taking the exam.
Yeah.
But the last 1 hour, it's almost like I felt someone just pushing me, kicking me out of chair.
Wow.
Even till that date, by the way, no plans to do what I'm doing. I remember driving from Queens, New York to Long Island and feeling so shaky because I knew that I'm not going to, I left the exam in middle basically and I'm not going to get any good score. And this was the plan. If I get the good score, I had already applied for schools and they'll automatically get the score and I'll be accepted, then I'll be joining. So it's a loop then, So it was very painful and scary moment. But I remember, Indian parents would really want their kids to have good career. I had already broken the norm that I'm not going to be doctor or engineer. And the third option that I chose was a business student. That also I kicked out. So I was also, feeling uncomfortable, like that I continue to disappoint my family and parents. So I saw their face. They looked surprised because I was studying very hard for this exam. But next morning, I remember sitting with my teacher. I told him, I'm 21 or 22, and I think I still have time to experiment. Let me experiment with spiritual space. I grew up enjoying that. You are a guru, a teacher, you guide so many. Maybe I can assist you, join you, work at your place for a while, and maybe help you guys in some way. I'll also learn. Maybe in 2-3 years, I'll know whether I want to do this or go back to doing MBA. And thank God, the MBA never happened after that. Yeah.
You always think like, had, either of you finished that test, gotten good grades, got accepted to a school, do you think you would have just taken it because
probably now AI would be doing my job?
Yeah. It's interesting how like that test is the marker for both of you. There was something in that moment that was like, if you finish this test, there's a chance that you'll just say, forget it.
And maybe like eventually you just find your path, like it just kind of would just keep arising. Maybe. Almost as like it's a harder path, but at the same time it's easier because it's right, if that makes sense. At least that's how I feel for myself in the work that has, come about. I'm curious. You mentioned people thinking that you should continue with your lineage. Can you describe that? Like, what does that? Because I've done a little bit of studying too. It's not Vajrayana Buddhism. It's more Hindu, and there's working with deities. Like some of our first messages was about Kali, actually, years and years ago. And I remember exactly where I was standing when I was listening to your voice note about Kali, and you were describing to me how when you grew up, that was such a normal part of your household. And I was just like, wow, that's so interesting. Because for me, and here, it's like dark, but like powerful and like only channeling that energy when you really know what you're doing. And for you, it's like, we grew up with Kali. I'm like, what? I'm like, tell me more. I'm like, anyways.
I was also very impressed because now talking about Kali is such a trendy thing. Back then, on TikTok, social media, when you start talking about Kali, you will get a lot of engagement.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even mainstream magazines write about her that she's a feminist icon. So she gets a lot of attention now. But back then when we first connected, I wouldn't see a lot of people talking about her. So I was very surprised and impressed that you were into that space. And for me, I think the reason my guru is a Kali devotee, so that became a big introduction to that space. The way he addresses her, he doesn't even say Kali or goddess Kali. He just says Ma, which is mother, like divine mother. That's a very Indian thing too. All the ancient teachers address goddesses like that. Like it's a relationship.
I heard like Kali Ma.
Kali Ma. Yeah. It's the more you access the work of ancient tantric teachers or Hindu teachers, they will always address her as Ma. Yeah. And I understood that this is how my family, connects to her. And the way I got into her space was I was a very shy, introvert kid. Still, I feel I'm a very shy and introvert. And people actually don't believe that because I enjoy talking, but it's only this subject. If there's like 15 people, it's a social gathering, I'll be just hiding myself here.
I'm the exact same. And I don't know if it's like overwhelm or like,
you're sensitive to energy. You're sensitive, you absorb everything. It's like you're like a little sponge. That's what I feel like.
I have to kind of like...
It's 3 introverts.
3 introverts hosting
talking
podcasts.
About Tantra and Kali. I like that. And I think it's the introvert in me who felt so out of space in school. And this is again, first grade, second grade. I remember feeling very anxious as a kid. I don't know what the real reason was, but I would feel very uncomfortable around a lot of people. I would rehearse things in my mind before I would even speak to a teacher. And somewhere because I would see everyone around me, meditating on Kali, and there were books about Kali. And I think I felt very drawn to that fierce energy because Hindu gods and goddesses, they look very civil, sweet, obedient. Kali doesn't fit into the box.
Yeah.
So I felt very drawn to that energy. And I remember meditating. And when I say meditating, at that time, I didn't even know the word meditation, but I had access to certain mantras and I would hear all the time from my teachers. So I started experimenting with Kali and I remember feeling different in school.
Mm-hmm.
My grades were improving. My confidence was rising. I was getting attention from teachers. I was building good friendships in school.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I really felt it's happening because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And that just became my identity in a way as a kid. I was obsessed, really, because I felt I have discovered some superpower.
Yeah.
And that became my daily thing. Hours and hours of just exploring Kali's world and meditating. I was perhaps the age of your son at the time or even younger. And I get drawn to, the little kid energy a lot because it reminds me of my own innocence that, wow, now I try to access it through that time and space. I feel now we are so corrupted as an adult. We have deadlines, comparisons, trends, algorithm. We are so polluted in mind. But that age, when you're 7, 8, 9, you're so innocent.
You know, it's before the programming starts. It's after 7. I think that's
exactly. And I'm so glad I got introduced to Kali consciousness. So that's how I address her, Kali consciousness.
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened at a very young age. It was very innocent.
That's what happened with Cassius too, with my son. He's like, Mama, you love Kali, because we have statues around, so he knows.
So he knows.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
For people that might not know anything about deities, goddesses, gods, how would you describe working with them in your spiritual practice? How would you describe Kali? Who is Kali? How would you describe that to anyone that's listening that may not really know?
How has that enriched your practice?
Yeah.
I guess.
I feel, so there's a blessing and curse, here. I grew up in an environment where I understood Kali from day one.
Yeah.
There's a blessing and curse in this because I grew up learning, and the curse also is that someone who grew up learning about Kali at a very young age, they may have a tough time unlearning what they have learned, because unlearning is the first step, really. So I feel people who have no clue about what Kali is, they're sitting on a very interesting opportunity to really start a relationship from scratch, which basically means read everything. There are books, listen to the podcasts, read the books, but eventually build your relationship with that force. Otherwise, it's a borrowed knowledge.
See what she means to you, because for you, Kali might have a totally different
What happened for
vibe.
me, I was walking into Banyan Books, which is one of the oldest probably the oldest metaphysical store in Vancouver. And there was a huge statue of Kali, and this is before it ever And I just felt so drawn to this statue. And I messaged a spiritual mentor friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm like, I really want that statue. He's like, you better find out what that statue means first. He's like, do your research, Google, read read everything that you can find. And that was like years and years ago. And that was about around the time actually when I did message you. So that was like going quite back.
Wow.
And then since then, it just feels like for me, it's like the void of manifestation where it all happens, and like this divine feminine energy or figure, and this it's good for like cord cutting and just just empowerment in general is kind of what I personally
I like that void of manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. There's no easy way to define Kali. I mean, just like I cannot define you both. We can have a name, a last name. These are very limiting ways of defining a human. So the reason I call her Kali consciousness is because there is no beginning and there's no end. It's an ever-evolving, formless form. And I know the more I talk like this, the more people might be confused. What does it even mean? I thought that's a picture. Now he's saying it's a formless form.
Well, it's like talking about God. Like, how do you explain God to someone? It's a feeling, it's a connection. It's you can because it's not person. Like it's a feeling. It's like, what does God mean to you, in you, through you? You know,
it's energy.
Energy. Yeah, that's a good way.
It's everything. It's life and it's death and it's everything.
Yeah, and what God means to me may be completely different than what it means to you guys. But I do love the divine feminine like badassness that is Kali.
There is, you know, if we could go deeper into the word Kali, I think that might be very helpful for those who have no clue. The word Kali, right? Kali means time and space. Slash also infinity, like something beyond that. And what happens? That's the void. And those who listen to teachers like Joe Dispenza, Dispenza uses a word blackness.
I love that. Go into the blackness. There's blackness in front of you, behind you,
because you can envision that. Everybody can envision blackness.
And his voice keeps coming back, and then because you stay there, you know, when your mind starts to wander, you know, his voice is back, and it's pulling you back to the blackness.
If you replace, next time you listen to it, replace blackness with Kali, and it wouldn't make a difference because Kali is blackness. And I did have access to one of his, you know, entire day lecture where he did talk about Tantra a lot. The way I got to know about his work, because a lot of my students will tell me everything you talk, he's saying the same thing, but the language is different. And at first I thought, okay, you know, it's just some stuff, but then he became more and more popular. And when I was sitting in my own conflict in life and I needed to hear a different voice, that's when I bought his book, The Breaking the Habit of Being You. And I realized, wow, this is, there's a lot of Tantra in his work, but honestly, there is a lot of Tantra in everything.
And thanks for pulling us back to that.
Yeah, because that's
after a tangent about Kali.
Go ahead, Cassia.
What's the biggest misconception people have when they hear Tantra? You and I have talked a lot about this.
Do I even need to say it?
I feel like, because like when people hear Tantra, I feel like, especially in Western culture, our heads are immediately going to, I've heard of tantric sex before. But we forget or don't know what it even means. So if you could unpack what it means and how you work with it, how would you do that?
So, you know, I was recently teaching a retreat in Greece, and one of the participants showed me a text. You know, she got it from one of her friends. The text said, "So how's the sex camp going?" and she was like, "This is what everyone thinks when I say I'm at a Tantra retreat." And then there was a couple there, you know, who said that our friends actually reached out that is there a problem in the relationship because you guys are going to Tantra retreat? Because when, you know, there's no fire, that's when people go to Tantra retreat. So I you know, it was a light and humorous chat about how people misunderstand Tantra. And I remember telling everyone, sorry, you may not have super divine orgasms during these 7 days, or maybe you will, but this retreat is not about teaching you that. I think that this is the biggest misconception, that Tantra is some sort of acrobatic sexuality. Not even sexuality. They feel it's some sort of cosmic and God will, you know, possess you and you'll become the most sexually powerful being. That's really what people expect from Tantra.
I looked it up and it's like about 95% of Tantra has nothing to do with sex, but they took the 5% when there was a revolution and they kind of cherry picked it and that became really popular and they almost exploited it in a way. So when people think of Tantra, that's what they think of. And my issue with it is people that, especially, you know, some groups, they take advantage of people in these groups. Like, you know, guys take advantage of girls in these groups in the name of Tantra when it has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
So, these are conversations that I've had with you. And just like, how do we, you know, break that myth or whatever?
By having these conversations.
These conversations are important. Calling out what's wrong is important. Also, I think the people, the seekers, right, who are in the market looking for a Tantra space, I feel their vote, like where they invest their time, energy, money, and resources, that also decides the algorithm a lot, the market algorithm. You know, I mean, I think I was telling you, Kasi, a few days ago, in my 20s, I thought of quitting this work many times. I mean, not that I didn't think about it in my 30s, I did, but in 20s, it was heartbreaking. In 30s, I was still getting some hopes. The reason I would think about it a lot because it was very clear to me that the Tantra I am trying to talk, it doesn't have a market. It doesn't have takers. It's not appealing. It's not seductive enough. It's not sensually, sexually, aesthetic enough. Because all the Tantra that was being, even now, being taught, shared, it's a soft porn, really. Everywhere in Bali, India. And when I say India, I'm talking about all the online driven businesses, basically. Someone actually got arrested in India a few days ago. They are teaching a Tantra retreat for New Year. And when you read the description, it's just a sex orgy, really.
Oh, no.
And the local government saw it and they arrested, and they're like,
They arrested them.
They arrested the guy, the main, and it's not a random guy. He has a proper Instagram page, and he wears a proper spiritual, clothing. Like it's a proper, like when you see it, you're like, oh, that's a guru walking. But it was very uncomfortable for me to read the poster because I was I'll share, how I stumbled upon it. I've been trying to blend different forms of Tantra in my work. And I was like, I think it's time to find new voices where I can also learn from how modern teachers are teaching. Because my lineage is all about right-hand Tantra, which is the devotion, the goddesses.
Is it similar to right-hand path, left-hand path, and occultism? So your right-hand Tantra?
So right-hand is, I think, the meditation, right? I think so. I mean, I'm very, very new to even knowing left and right space.
I've never heard anyone say that in reference to Tantra before, so that's interesting.
Right, I believe so. I mean, people who are listening, please check online also. But right-hand Tantra, I believe, is the one that's rooted in prayer, meditation, goddesses, deities, mantras. Left hand is more unconventional, where sex, alcohol, your emotions are, understood and channeled differently. And left hand is obviously way more abused. And right hand is, it's very different. It's very much into devotion, very much into, but you don't see that a lot because.
Well, I was researching Tantra and what I do and what I've been doing for as long as I can remember. I'm like, am I practicing Tantra and not even realizing it with all of the visualizations and the mantras and the meditations and the working with goddesses and all of that? I'm like, this whole time
I've been connecting with this deep.
Anyways.
That happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And this is why the conversation on Tantra needs to be normalized. So people realize, I've been making music for 10 years, but the way I make music, that's a very tantric experience. And this is one of my deeper intentions, to normalize Tantra, that artists, creatives, a chef cooking, anyone starts to realize, I've been channeling Tantra without realizing. So recently, because, my writing started to open up a lot within me, especially recently, and I started to receive a lot of interesting messages. It was amazing that people are willing to go so deeper. And I always feel my biggest teachers have been the readers or the tribe members, the tribe members. The kind of questions they ask, it's unbelievable. They blow my mind with the kind of depth they want to go into. And even if you read the comments on some of my Instagram posts.
Oh, I have. Even the one that we were collaborators on, all of the comments coming up, I'm like, wow.
There is no small talk, I feel really blessed to see that because I know on social media, it's a very shallow talk, but even if you go through, imagine my DMs, they are way more deeper.
Well, thank you for responding to me.
Right? No, I think when we connected, things were still so mellow, that was a few years ago.
It was, yeah.
And now it's overwhelming to read every comment or message. After a point, I start to feel,
But you respond to all of them. And that's another thing. I'm like, this is amazing. Like I said, when the ones we collaborate on, the posts, because I'm notified. Every person gets this thoughtful, unique
because
response.
They are genuinely my teachers. I mean, I learn a lot from them. so let's say, I write something on Tantra and Kali, and Stephanie comments, "Oh, I thought Kali was this. I was trying to, heal my grief, and this is what happened." I will go to Stephanie's profile. I'll see, oh, she's an artist.
Mhm.
This is what she does. So an artist who's trying to embody this and going through this struggle,
Mhm.
I'll formulate my answer based on that. But next thing I know, this conversation will stay in my subconscious. It will guide me to create another layer of my teaching.
Mhm.
If I don't connect to the real people who are actually interacting with the content, then I'm just sitting in a bubble, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this is why people who criticize, even if they're criticizing why you're charging money, if they're criticizing why this is wrong, any criticism, I never delete a comment.
Mm.
Unless someone is just angry and cursing, which doesn't happen honestly so much on the page. But if I would actually pin the most criticized comment, because I want to make sure if the there are a lot of praises, so I don't need to pin a praise. But if it's an attack, a harsh critical comment, I will pin that comment and write my response, so that anyone who's having any doubts, they can just right away read
See your
that.
response.
Yeah, I pin the most harsh comment.
That doesn't happen much though, does it?
Not so much. When that happens, I'm like, oh, this is an opportunity for me to also sit with that discomfort.
How
Because
very enlightened of you.
in the beginning, it wasn't. I would get, I would plan a very sarcastic comment, or getting the shadow, the defensiveness, it's all coming up. And I realized that's not the point.
When did that change for you?
It happened organically. I think this is why I love storytellers, artists, creatives, not just the famous ones, but the ones that you encounter randomly on a street, or someone who's trying. And I realized they don't give up easily. They are not accepted by family, society, producers. They continue to make art. Like, what a resilient soul. And then I remember feeling embarrassed that I made 3 attempts, it didn't work, and I'm thinking of quitting everything. There's a movie director whose 6 movies are not released. And he's making the 7th one because that's what he's here for.
Yeah.
So I think many of those moments happened. So I listen to a lot of filmmakers because I think it's a very dark industry. And if you can make your mark there and make meaningful cinema, write meaningful book, there's a lot to learn from them. Yeah.
I remember you made a post, and I know about like how you mentioned that you lost a bunch of followers, but then you gained a bunch. Can you tell us about that story and like what changed and what was,
So I go through these phases very often where I feel, what am I doing? What's the point of this? And if it's a momentary thing, I would, of course, it comes back in 3 days. That's all good. But when it continues to happen, I realize, something is changing and I need to sit with it. And I realize I start to see interactions are changing. Even the clients I'm working with, they're like, let's wrap up, because I don't want to work energetically. It's all, no one knows what's happening. But how I'm feeling energetically, I'm starting to see the reality shifting accordingly. The social media engagement starts to drop. Clientele, emails, everything starts to move in a different direction. Even now, the clients I get, they are mirroring a lot of what I'm going through. It's wild to me how that happens. So there was one time when I felt very exhausted with how the social media was moving, for me at least. People were pushing and forcing sales funnels, creating content to honor the algorithm, making reels. And none of them was exciting me. And I felt very lost, very stuck. I spoke to many coaches at that moment. I would pay good amount of money for even speaking to them for 30 minutes, 1 hour. I got no answer. Everybody had very standard answer. Sales funnels, make a reel, reels are actually working. No one had an answer. I even spoke to a book publisher agent, and they also were like, yeah, make reels, collect emails. I mean, all standard rotten answers really.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to change something. and my followers were decreasing every day. So I was in LA. I had moved back to New York for a short while after COVID. And I was in LA for an event. I remember I was going to Sedona. I had planned to go to Sedona for 2-3 days. So I decided to take a drive from LA to Sedona, 7 hour of drive. While driving there, I was listening to Gary Vee, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
And I have listened to a lot of audiobooks. I realize one thing that only I've seen him doing it. So every audiobook you read, they're reading from the pages, right?
Yeah.
And they're very much on brand with you do not hear any other sound when the author is reading the book, or if any speaker is. Gary would randomly pause reading the book. He's like, if he's talking about, let's say, make Instagram reels, he's like, you know what, let me call my social media manager. I'll tell him to make a reel on real estate. And he would actually call, hey, Bob, what's happening? So could you make a reel? What do you think of it? He paused so many times. And I'm like, this is first time I'm hearing someone on an audiobook. He doesn't care about the rules. He's and publisher don't dare to cancel it because they know this is what Gary is all about. And I was going through such a interesting, confusing phase, and I would feel his voice. And he was one of the brave ones for me at the time, for sure. I may not agree with everything he shares, obviously, but I love the boldness. And many of those moments started to happen in Sedona. I'm writing, and I'm like, you know what? I really want to write like a book. Like every post should feel like a book, a movie. But I'm not doing it because everyone told me the text posts are not doing well. It's the time of reels, short video content. I don't want to do that. I want to write like as if you're reading a chapter from a book, but not just a book, like a movie script. So I want to put a movie poster. I want to write Tantra on that poster. So it's like a movie poster, but about Tantra. So, but again, no one was approving it. And at that time, I had lost 10,000 followers because I was sharing bits and pieces about that this is what I want to do. And I remember some of my like genuine loyal followers also said, oh, I like the old CB, So I was like, I don't relate to that old CB. So I remember the average likes were 10 to 15 at the time. They were hitting all-time low. I would still had 40 to 50,000 followers, but all-time low engagement. And I created a post, my first post, where I picked an artistic photo, put full text, and it was a 9 to 10 slides. It got 1,300 likes, from 20 to 1,300. And I was like, okay, I might be doing something.
It's amazing.
Next day, I repeated that. Again, same number. Third day, I remember, so I was in a very rebellious mode. I'm like, I have nothing to lose. I'm sitting with 10 likes. What do you lose with 10 likes? I remember writing about how Gen Zs are so misunderstood. That became my most viral post ever. Millions of views.
Wow.
I got, believe it or not, more than I think 30,000 followers.
Wow. The reason why it matters too, it's not like a vanity, like, oh, like my Instagram pictures. It's like, that's your work, that's your lineage.
And
that's the
message.
Practice, the message,
he's
all
trying
of it.
To share the message.
Yeah. And we just happen to have, Instagram is one of probably the most popular platforms that we're able to share our work with. So yeah.
And that was the case. There's no strategy.
Amazing.
That really helped me other than just embodying what I'm sitting with. Well,
I was going to say, like, I feel like one of the reasons that may have worked for you is because you were like living your authentic self in those posts, writing, expressing yourself through writing, through creation, through...
And not doing like a reel, like a 7-second reel.
Following the norm. Yeah, because I feel like how do you explain Tantra and get someone to feel your vibe in 15 seconds? You can tease them with something, but I feel like a lot of times people are going to go, no. But when you catch someone with your heart, which I imagine is like a big part of all your posts these days, I feel like that's when people are going to really start. People can feel that, like especially in our like wellness community, spiritual, people can feel your heart immediately. They can feel something's off or on.
And you're not just like trying to keep up with the Joneses, as they say, right? Oh, everyone's doing that, so I have to do it too. In terms of reels and all the things. So.
And people need that. People are craving
Authenticity.
Like authenticity. They're craving not reading another post created by ChatGPT. They're craving like the heartfelt words and wisdom from someone's heart. So that could have been, the reason that things kind of hit that day.
I remember feeling very vulnerable, exposed, emotional. And then I started to see similar comments. Oh, this is so vulnerable. I felt so seen. Everything that I was feeling, people actually started writing that in comment. One of the most wild moments was after I wrote something, I believe it was about unconscious loyalty to your trauma and doubts. And after writing, I told myself, oh, I never thought of it this way before. So I'm so glad I'm able to put this together. I got that first comment. I never thought of it this way. And I was like, you know what? Just this is the strategy. Feel your emotions, channel it. It's working. And I start to feel that if I'm feeling emotional, people will feel the emotions.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Something I always invite my students to do in some of the courses I teach is automatic writing. Do you know what that, right? Where you just like start writing and you don't think about what you're writing, and it's almost like you're channeling at the same time with pen and paper.
Yeah, so I just call that stream of conscious.
Stream of consciousness.
Yeah. And I find that that's so powerful just for like letting that all come through. Yeah.
For me, it starts on the paper always.
Amazing.
Yeah, the outline. Now I have introduced characters. So I was writing a movie script and I started introducing characters from the movie script in the caption because again, it makes me happy. And I don't know if I'll ever make a movie, but the yearning of making a movie is getting all this great stuff out. So
you should.
It's still under that, right? Like, because you can have multiple passions and
why not, right?
Can you have like multiple purposes? Like I haven't dove deep into that. Like, can humans have more than one life's purpose? Like, can you fulfill the movie director and the spiritual guru?
Yeah, but like, what if you're making a spiritual movie that teaches people about the real meaning of Tantra?
What if he's making Transformers? Like, can we do that?
Yeah. Do you want to make Transformers?
As a kid, all the scripts were Transformers kind of script. And now I'm playing with so many genres in my head. Like, I enjoy watching spooky thriller.
Oh my God,
I love horror movies.
What is that? Like, they always
know.
say there's something wrong with people who love that, but like,
have you seen Weapons?
Yes. I just worked with the actress Julia Garner.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
she's amazing.
She's so amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was such a good movie. It was such a good movie.
Weapons was amazing. I saw The Train Dreams, not a horror movie.
Oh, that's on my list.
Yeah, it's so heartwarming.
Yeah.
I saw it on the flight actually on the way here. So
yeah.
That's the kind of cinema I want to make, Weapons or Train Dreams.
Yeah. Train Dreams just came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just listened to a podcast yesterday where they were interviewing him, and I was like, write that on my list because I want to watch that.
It's very powerful.
I'm very careful with watching TV. I think I'm just sensitive, but like I get so into things and it kind of just changes my thoughts a little bit, so I feel like it's such a vulnerable thing. So I don't really watch
this
TV.
This is a heartfelt, tear-jerking one.
Oh, great.
It's powerful.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Bringing back to Tantra, because I do want to unpack it a little more.
Yeah.
Again, for someone that may think that it is all about like sexual energy, even like you always hear like the tantric positions, which it obviously isn't. How would you describe what Tantra is at its core? How would you describe like what you currently do, like how you use it in your practice?
So I define Tantra as a science of self-awareness. And if I'm calling it a science, it's really a technology. It's going to transmute and channel what you have and transcend you beyond the mind. I mean, a simple example would be, imagine walking into a lab with hundreds of chemicals. And if you know what you're doing with chemicals, you will create a medicine out of it. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to blast the lab. Tantra is the knowledge of working with those hundreds of chemicals. If you know what you're doing, you'll create healing out of Tantra. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's just going to cause a lot of damage. And that's what's happening. Tantra, I think the tragedy of Tantra is it's so welcoming, so simple and so receptive that people don't know what to do with the freedom that Tantra gives. Because Tantra will not tell you, stop drinking and then we'll accept you as a student. Stop smoking weed and then we'll accept you as the student. Tantra says, come as you are.
Is it like you are already enlightened? Is that the kind of, like something I heard recently is like, Imagine you're the candle, and then you have a glass over top of the candle, and whatever you see through the glass is like a kaleidoscope, and it can have either butterflies and rainbows or whatever, or it can have like spiders and other things. So your perception of the world is not the world itself. You're the candle that's already enlightened. It's the glass that goes over the top of the candle, and that's what you see. Like if someone's seeing dark forces and all the things, it's really just the glass that they have over top of the candle. But the whole point of life, I guess, is to see life through nothing, to empty the mind. I guess that's more Buddhist, but you know.
Yeah, no, you're correct. Buddhist teachings have a lot of tantric element to it. Buddha experimented with Tantra for a long time. And I feel Tantra helps you empty what is full and helps you fill what is empty. So what's full is the mind. All notions, preconceptions.
The glass over top that you see the world.
Narratives of family. Once you empty it all out, then Tantra will help you to fill it with your embodiment. I mean, I grew up with gurus and teachers, but that did not mean I didn't have to access my shadows. I didn't have to go through my own conflicts. Spiritual proximity does not mean spiritual embodiment. Just because you're closer to the spiritual sources doesn't mean this is it. Embodiment will still need to happen, and it could take years or a lifetime. But Tantra is not about a certified course, that will happen in 1 month or
you can't certify me in 1 month.
No.
What?
And I remember, teaching a Tantra program, and someone said, so is there going to be a certification or teaching, or they can teach others? I said, no, I can't complete this in 3 months, And they said, good luck selling this because no one will buy. And, I do have my loyal tribe. So people did join the program, but I do see the market does not encourage this kind of embodiment where you're simply learning. Because the way capitalism works, you will invest in a Tantra program so that now you also sell these certificates and then they also sell. So it becomes a full engine. And this is why I keep on experimenting with how I teach.
Like the cosmic circle, right? Like that's what you have so people can learn about it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cosmic Circle is something, it's an online community. I see it as a bonfire thing. You sit by the fire, relax, you learn what you want. It's created in a way that you receive at your pace. Because I realize, Tantra is so vast. I literally cannot share everything in one lifetime. It's so much. But I needed something that's pressure-free for me to share. So, and there is no certified, courses there, nothing. You walk in, you learn. My goal is only one, that is your life shifting? Are you transforming? And I see practical results happening. People finding freedom, expression, joy. They are feeling much more expansive in their sensuality, creativity, spirituality. And that's way bigger than any certification. And that's what gives me so much excitement, for Tantra.
And people are forgetting the point sometimes of taking courses. They're thinking instead of thinking what can Tantra do for me? They're thinking, what can Tantra do for me after this?
Exactly.
You're forgetting the whole point is
it's a way of life.
Is how is it changing you, not how is it, not how much money you can get from it. And I feel like there would be a strange energy connection if you were trying to get something from Tantra instead of just embodying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does it, because I have heard you mention the words like sensuality and creativity. How does Tantra connect with sensuality? Because I'm always wondering, how did it get so misconstrued in Western culture? So how does
sex sells?
Yeah, sex sells. How does Tantra connect to creativity, to play, to sensuality?
So, the way I define sensuality, it's the collection of all your senses, the sense of seeing, smelling, hearing, speaking, touching, eating, everything. So Tantra does help you embody your complete sensuality, that you feel everything with awareness. So it's not the sexualization of the experience, but the sensuality of that experience. So when you're sitting with someone, are you there with them fully? When you're writing, are you fully writing? When you're speaking, are you fully speaking from heart? That's Tantra. And if there is no sensuality and creativity in the process, then you're not embodying Tantra, because Tantra is all about sensuality and creativity. To take this into a deeper context, there is something that's called Das Mahavidya, which is basically the 10 prime goddesses in Tantra. They are including goddess Kali. Each goddess represents something so powerful, unconventional, but also so relatable. For example, there is a goddess there, Matangi, who's the goddess of speech, expression, art, and writing, but not a typical writing or art. She's the one who will help you embody the art that you were forbidden to channel, the voice that you shrinked, that others shrinked in you. So Matangi is the goddess that unleashes that voice in you, that energy out of you. Then there is goddess Lalita or Leela. She's the one who embodies or helps you empower the blend of your sensuality and your abundance.
And that's the name of your podcast?
Yeah, I named podcast after my nani's name, my grandma's name. But yeah, it's all same. Leela. And my grandma's name was Leela, but also Leela is the goddess. Yeah. So Leela means play also, play of consciousness. So I love that word also, play. Life is a play. But that's what the goddess Leela teaches. It's all play. Yeah. Why you are taking it so seriously.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And this is what Tantra teaches. It does not glorify sex, does not glorify anything, honestly. It does empower us to transcend the noise of mind and embody your authenticity, your truth, if that makes sense.
It does. It sounds like, in essence, Tantra is like presence. Like how present are you? Or how much are you embodying exactly what you're doing in that moment? You know what I mean? Like it's like the way that, like I when you were talking about slowing down, enjoying, I was envisioning eating and like food. And I feel when I went to Italy a couple of years ago, like this is the closest connection I can make to Tantra, is when I was in Italy a few years ago, one of the things that they told me was to slow down, enjoy dolce far niente, which is the saying, the sweetness of doing nothing. Yeah. And being in, and sitting at an Italian restaurant, I ordered myself like 3 dishes, a bottle of wine, and I sat for 3 hours and I watched, and I enjoyed every bite. I tasted every single flavor. Like I ate slow, consciously, quietly. Like I just spent 3 hours just sitting and enjoying. And that's how I'm kind of putting together what Tantra could mean. Yeah. Am I kind of on?
You're on it, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This, even, the sex part of Tantra, it does not encourage any rushed intimacy. It encourages slow intimacy. Because if you go to the root of intimacy that's rushed, it comes from anxiety, fear, pressure. You want to lock the person. But a slow intimacy, and that could be with food, could be in a relationship, could be in writing. The slow intimacy, it comes from some sense of security that it's there's no rush.
And then about desire too with Tantra. It's like your desires show you, is that right? Like they show you what you should be pursuing? Or can you please explain that better than me?
Yeah, no, you are correct. That's the teaching of goddess Lalita.
Okay.
Yeah. So it teaches desire is the portal of your intuition. Desire is the portal of your dharma, your life purpose. Yeah. But all of us at some point were clearly told that our desires are impulsive, they are silly, and society works against your desires. And desires are seen as something childish. And it happens at a very younger age.
Yeah.
So when a child is wanting something and you suppress their desire, you're suppressing, or you say no to them. And you build a fear also. If you eat this will happen. If you want to go to Florida, you might fall sick. See the news. This is what happens. Now they have built fear with their desire, and their root chakras. Now they are. It's so scary when you start to go deeper. That even a simple desire, when it's systematically suppressed, it suppresses the larger picture of your life. But also the truth is you're not here accidentally. So your body, your soul will continue to remind you of your dharma, your life purpose. But now the message is going to come in form of anxiety, anger. So it could be like you watch a movie and you start to feel angry, why I didn't make this movie, or I could have done this. Or you saw a wonderful book and you feel sad that, I could have, my name could have been on this. Or you come across someone you really loved like 20 years ago, but you sabotaged it, or they did, and you didn't show up for the intimacy. And then you feel guilt, anger, confusion. But these are the messages now that we have to pay attention to. We suppress desire. Now we are suppressing the anxiety, anger also. So we are blocking every divine message, every sign that's clearly guiding us what to do.
Can you share a moment when desire maybe forced you deeper into your own spiritual path? Anything that comes to mind?
Many moments. Wow. Can you repeat it again? It's just such a great question.
Can you share a moment when desire focused or forced you deeper into your own spiritual path?
What we shared just a few minutes ago about losing followers. I was sitting with a clear desire. And desire was to bring out the storyteller in me. And, I've never, ever done that before. I would write poetry before. That was my Instagram, by the way, before. I would enjoy writing poetry. I used to teach public classes, workshops in LA.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, at the Den, at different places. So
you were teaching at the Den, like poetry.
Not poetry, Tantra.
Tantra.
Yeah, but Instagram was never what it is now. And one of the participants, this couple was so sweet. They pointed out, they said, we noticed you write a poetry at 8 p.m. every day. I'm like, wow, I didn't notice it, obviously, And they said it so casually. They were Rumi lovers. They both were Persian and they loved Rumi, the poet. They said, your poetry is so good, you should do more, but you write randomly at 8 p.m. And they were so correct. And that was coming out of interesting longing to express. I was tired from a long day, and I remember poetry became my way of expressing. And that was the only thing. I always wanted to just embody the storyteller in me. But I felt that desire as a very irrelevant, useless, not needed in the world. And that stayed with me forever. Because this path is not encouraged. I mean, this storyteller, creative. I never got validation, permission from myself, from others. I kept it very hidden until, again, so many things were happening. But my aunt in India, they live where I grew up. Their neighbor is my classmate. So he got to know this is CB's aunt. And he said, does Chandresh still direct movies? And she said, what do you mean? He said, when we were little, he would gather us in the lunch break and give us a scene and he would direct us. And my aunt was like, but you guys were in the same school when he was in 3rd grade or 4th. He said, yeah, exactly. So he changed the school and we, never met. And I got to know he moved out of India. My aunt called me. She's like, you used to direct movies in school in 5th grade. Even I had started to forgot that. It made me feel so many things. I'm like, it still creates so much pain in me that why I'm not embodying that. And that desire I had to really sit with and start to bring out. And this is why my writing now has a lot of characters. There's a story.
I get it now. I see. Okay.
Yeah, Tara, one of the popular characters on my Instagram. Adam, there are so many characters. And I cannot tell you the liberation I felt while putting these out there. I saw this Italian movie, Cinema Paradiso. It again hit me so deeply. And these things used to bring me joy, but also embarrassment that why you are not doing. You're watching like an audience. And it's so easy to do that. Why are you not stepping in the field and doing it?
I felt that.
Yeah,
Have
I
you?
felt that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Even just because I also have a background in film.
And me for music. Sometimes I see people perform. I'm like, why am I not doing that?
Yeah, and like even like if I'm like on set and I'm seeing like an actor acting, I'm like, why am I not pursuing that thing that got me excited back in the day? But even in relation as well, like I also write poetry, and on my personal page, my old personal page, which I deactivated, I used to have like this series that I would always post. It was called My Way with Words. Aww. And it was like how I like express.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's so cute. I love it.
It was like, I'd always post a photo first, so you'd have to scroll to see the poem. But it was like how I like expressed myself as well. And I just kind of stopped because similar to what you said, it felt like nobody cares about poetry right now. We're not in Shakespearean times. No one cares. But I have like, I always feel like anytime I'm sad, especially when I'm like sad and trying to work through things, that's when I would turn to poetry because that was my way with words. I found that I could easily express my pain, my feelings through poetry than anything else.
I used to write a lot. I wanted to be like a writer in New York. That was my plan before anything else. And I did journalism work for a while, but I just didn't like telling other people's story. I'm like, I want to tell my own. And I wrote a novella when I was 15 or 16, unpublished. But I remember writing this thing for my sister who was going through like a really hard time. And it was like these pages of this story of whatever. And at the end of it, I'm like, I hope you one day too will realize that you're worth nothing less than everything. And I read that to her and I was in tears and she was too. And I was just like, oh, yeah, I never forgot that. But
that's so sweet.
I love writing. I'm just not. I like reading your writing.
Yeah. And thank you for continually like putting that stuff out there, because even just hearing you say that, I'm like, I really need to like, put the pen to paper again because writing, it was such like a big thing for me. And like seeing you be so successful with like putting your heart out there and through your words, like it is inspiring to be like, maybe I like, just because I have a business page doesn't mean I can't like throw a poem in there from time to time,
And watch, like, if you put a movie out, people will go. Like, I've even seen, how people will repost memes of other people. I call them memes, but they're just like, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. So they'll do like a collection. Yeah. I was scrolling through some people that, other people's posts, and I saw one of yours on someone else's, and someone in the comments was like, beautiful post, but make sure you tag the artist, and they tagged you in it. And I was just like, wow, like you have like your following lets you.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Someone sent me a page, very popular page in a different language. And this person told me, CB, these are all your writings. You can't understand because they are taking your stuff, putting in their language. Yeah. And it happens all the time. But I love how people feel so protective of the work I'm putting out there. So that's very touching to me. Yeah.
How did you feel? Like, because I feel like for me, I feel like that would be a trigger for me because like we work so hard to make the stuff we do into like. So how did you feel like seeing people, like, was it flattering? Was it infuriating? Like, how did you feel?
It has happened so many times with such bigger consequences. Like so I don't know what to feel, right now, because so much has happened in that space. I've seen people, how my name is under in the center bottom right. People would take that and crop that name.
That's what I saw. Yeah. Oh, someone they put their name on it.
No
or just name. Crop your name out and just repost as their own.
I think my first big uncomfortable moment happened when someone I know, they did that. And that post was shared by one of the super popular names in Hollywood. And then that person called this my friend on their reality show to discuss. And when I saw the whole story, it didn't feel good. But I was also in a phase where I was doubting my work. So I did have that big moment that maybe my work will not be picked up like this, but the same work by someone else that got picked up. So maybe there's some bad luck happening with me. I had gone through so much of that depressing narrative around it. And I also remember if I would call out, they'll be like, you should be grateful. You're a spiritual person. So this was a very long narrative for many years. You're a spiritual being. You should not be worried about a credit. And I again would be quiet. But lately I started to feel I should speak out about this because I love artists. And I started to do it because if I'm doing it, so many of these artists, they started to also wake up and claim their share. and it started to happen. Now I feel honestly, I don't want to feel angry about it, because that's not I felt that way before, the anger and the doubt, it doesn't take you anywhere. But I started to reframe it in my head that every time someone does this, I will do whatever feels authentic in that moment. So there was one account which went viral sharing my poetry.
Wow.
And they were speaking. And everyone was commenting, what a great poetry and everything. And this person was thanking everyone. And then I remember not feeling good about it. Yeah. And I was like, what do I say? I mean, and I had to meditate. And then I remember writing that, thank you for speaking my words. They did a great job with it, by the way, speaking so well. I was like, thank you for speaking it in such a powerful way. I feel very honored. And then they tagged me after that.
Wow.
So you have to really claim your share, but people, there are people who will empower you. There are people who will shame you also. You're a spiritual being. Why you are wanting a credit? But I also started speaking to a lot of artists that you should claim credit. Then I felt, I should lead with example. So I wouldn't react this way with everything. But when I feel, okay, something is really there, you got to claim.
Yeah, this isn't the same thing at all, but there was a couple of years ago when I still do a lot of events, but I take time in what I write on my event descriptions. Like I care. Someone was just copying and pasting mine and putting it on their own events. And I messaged them. I'm like, so this is really confusing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
people are going to think it's the same event.
Yeah. So but I kind of struggled with that too. It's like, you're supposed to be this spiritual being. You're supposed to be like everything, just like love and light and whatever. But at the same time, it's just like, it doesn't make me feel very good.
Yeah. I had someone take my pictures and use my photos for their and I was just like,
it wasn't me, was it? I'm just kidding.
I was like, I think that's going to confuse clients. And the same thing. They're just like, you're supposed to be love and light. Like, I'm just like, well, this is also my business. So,
yeah.
Because this is like, it is our work. It's our effort. It's like if you had written this book and someone else's name went on it, we're spiritual, but we're also human.
Yeah.
I also feel spirituality doesn't mean you become carpet for others.
100%.
They
absolutely.
shouldn't be. We are not Buddhas. Like Buddha had stories that people will spit on him.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, I didn't take the spit. So it goes back to you. Like, I'm not there.
Especially,
I hear that would be nice. But.
Well, especially if you're like a mentor to people and people look up to you and they watch you. And if they watch their mentor being taken from or whatever, and they're like, oh, so people will take from me too. And that's fine. You know what I mean? You're almost enabling people to act worse and worse.
Yeah,
and walk on other people.
That's a good point. Also, lately when I started channeling the stories of Tara and Adam and a lot of these characters, I started to feel way more respectful to what's building. And I feel I got to protect what's happening.
Yeah.
Because people might think, he doesn't care about what he's putting out there. So you can just, it's open door. Right. You just take, and that was a challenge for me. Different times in life, when you become people pleaser, you become overgiver. So I had to really sit with the overgiver in me and create a boundary that no, it's not going to happen this way. Yeah.
I would say just slightly changing the topic just a little bit, because there's so many things that we want to talk to you about with like so little time. So many of your posts and your followers, it's about the feminine and the masculine. How do you think that we can heal the performance of what masculine and feminine energy is and return to real embodiment? The performance of that and whatever you would like to reflect on in that.
I feel, firstly, it has to begin from you, right? Before you reach out to someone else and try to heal them or try to see what I can do for them, first do it for you. There's so many things, you can do there. I think first of all, define what does feminine mean.
And can you define that, like in your work?
I would define, I use the word, I used to have the word divine feminine like everyone before, then I changed it to sacred feminine. Lately, I'm using wild feminine to describe the feminine energy. And wild here means playful, fluid. Think of feminine as a river. It's flowing, it's fluid. It's giving life wherever it's flowing. And ultimately, if the river continues to flow, it joins the ocean. That's the power of the feminine. I define masculine as a rooted masculine. Think of a mountain, rooted, composed, still. And you notice this with actual, so we are not really talking about genders here, but if you could, for a moment, I'll bring in a gender just to make the example more tangible. You notice feminine women, they like to display their emotions strongly. When they're upset, you could feel, that they're having a moment. The masculine or the man in that moment needs to be just rooted, calm, composed. Let her express the rage. And then that's how the masculine can shed his armor and keep it on the side, that the ego is not calling the shots. And he's giving full space to the feminine to express, to be herself. And once she's fully there, she'll bloom. Feminine blooms in safety.
Yeah.
She needs to feel the safety. Again, same with the river. If river is flowing safely, there's no stagnant energy there. It's not, no one is stopping the flow. No one is turning it into a flood. It's just flowing. That's the safe feminine. And the job of the masculine is to hold the banks, like allow it to flow. But again, it starts from within. You must tap within. First, the lower chakras tap there, like what's mine here, what's not mine. I think we might do that in tomorrow's meditation. When you breathe in, breathe out, tap your lower, below the navel gently and feel what's there in the inner feminine. Do you feel shame, rage, suppression, lack of safety? And then ask, what's mine in this shame, guilt, or anger? And then ask, what's not mine? You might start to notice so much of that unsafety is not yours actually. It came from culture, from mother, sister, a relationship you grew up watching or experiencing. And when you go upward, then you ask about the masculine. How's the masculine within me? Is it rooted, composed? Is it too much into performance? Is it too scared of expressing? And what's mine in this lack of expression and what's not mine? It's more somatic. You start to understand the feminine, masculine within you. And then you start to expand beyond you.
There's so much I think of, especially recently in the last couple of years, like be a girl boss, be powerful, hustle culture, you know, and then you don't want to be too much like a guy because then the guys won't like you. You don't want to be too much like a girl because people won't respect you. It's like
there's been a battle of the sexes the last few years against there's been a lot of,
and I just energy is more than the gender too.
It is. I even made a post recently about the whole toxic masculinity and how there is no toxic masculinity. There's toxic actions. There might be toxic people, but masculinity in its core is so far from toxic. It's like you said, sturdy. It's protective. It's honor. It's providing. It's beautiful, and it's needed. And there has been such an intense battle of the feminine and the masculine, and and I love that we're talking about it right now because it's hard,
and it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to feel safe when the world doesn't feel very safe. When you feel like you need to constantly be protecting yourself.
And feeling like you have to express or honor either side. Like how many times, because I naturally feel like I hold a lot of masculine energy. I actually like that about myself. But I'm told like so often, like you should put on a dress more often. You should like maybe swear less. Like you know what I mean? And I'm just like I like being able to honor, but and I do have moments where like I want to just arrange flowers and bake bread in a beautiful dress and cry to a nice book. Like I have those moments too. But that was my little rant.
The blend is beautiful. Bring out the masculine when it's needed, and bring out the feminine when it's needed.
In both, like men and women. Like it's important for both. I feel like a lot of men these days feel very scared or timid to express their feminine side, and that's been such a big problem.
men are feeling more scared of expressing themselves because I think there's again judgment. I think there's judgment for everyone right now, but I do feel men do feel very scared of expressing their vulnerability.
Do you work with many men, or is it mainly women?
It has been women for so many years, but now a lot of men have started to come. And
that's good.
That's
I like
really
hearing
good.
that.
It feels amazing to meet these men who are conscious, unafraid to go deeper.
Yeah.
It's definitely more challenging. A woman is way more willing and ready compared to a man.
Yeah.
For people that may not know like what you do and may want to find and like work with you, like how would you describe like what you do at its core? Like what are your workshops like? Like what is your work like? Like
so, I channel Tantra to bring mentorship, coaching to others, and it happens through various levels, be it a retreat, be it a cosmic circle community, be it a cosmic download, which is an audio-based mentorship where you receive at your pace, or the classic one-on-one. But at the heart of all the teachings, all the mentorship, it's directed toward not to fix you or teach you anything new, but to help you remember who you always were. It's so much of that shedding work, removing the barriers between where you are and where you were designed to really be, but you got, stuck somewhere in between. So I'm not so much into giving intellect templates in the coaching spaces. I get excited about helping them discover what was always there in them. And it happens through writing, meditation, creativity, somatics, embodiment, a bunch of stuff. But Tantra, creativity, that remains the core.
Do you explore play? I know I've heard you say that a few times. And I had a shamanic reading by an indigenous elder years ago now. And one of the things that they had mentioned was that I was surrounded by fox energy. Like they kept saying foxes, and they said that I was here to help bring play back into people's lives. And ever since, and I always felt that like I'm so quirky, weird, just a freak.
You're
and
amazing.
I always love play. And this is probably why I love the masculine energy, because I feel masculinity is very playful. And so, how does play work into the work that you do?
I think
does it?
Yeah, it does. It plays a big part. Without play, Tantra cannot happen, right? My podcast is called The Leela Show. It's all about play.
Yeah.
And play, I start calling my clients with, their newer versions that are forming. So the standard, one of the names, it could be Stephanie 2.0. That's the version you're building.
Yeah.
And because that's how it started to help me when I started to think, how would CB 2.0 act? And there is always a play element, because our core identities, like what we have received or borrowed from family, culture, religion, it's so strongly defined that mind will not let you go beyond it. So you have to get into a stage, a playful space where you give permission through various modalities. And one of them is like even defining an identity. It's not a new thing you're defining, but again, touching one, element within your existence, that, how I used to do it, as a child. Because healing is really unleashing of the inner child. So it could also be, how would little Stephanie embody this? The play element has to be there. It could even be using a particular perfume for those days, or a music that will all keep reminding you of the character you are embodying. And then you realize, I am embodying so much of this wild feminine, and the old Stephanie is fading away slowly. That was fearful, doubtful.
Yeah.
Makes sense? Yeah.
Yeah, that I feel like I just had this conversation where like I have old videos on my phone that came up that I found in emails of me doing crazy dances in my underwear in my living room with and I was like a full-grown adult, okay? And
I did that when I was younger too.
A full-grown adult, just, back maybe like 2013, 15.
Yeah.
But I felt like recently, like that part of me has kind of gone away, and I've also been like a lot more like quiet, like in like what is the word I'm looking for? In introverted.
Yeah.
And I miss it. Like I just rewatching those videos, I was like, where did she go?
Yeah.
Like she was so fun, free,
it's like we care too much.
But I don't remember when I lost it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. And that's what made me like sad is like the amount of fun I used to have and the quirkiness I used to have and like the play I used to bring into my life. I feel like it.
At least you're remembering now, because if you would have never remembered, you can never go back. Not that you want to go back.
I do.
But, well, embody, presently embody that. You know,
totally.
The essence
I
of
need
what
to take
that
your
was.
workshop and rediscover my play.
I think we lose it because society keeps enforcing a new idea, that 100%. You will survive and thrive if you follow the rules. The child doesn't follow the rules. So that's why we keep missing the child in us,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really well said.
Yeah.
In your profile, it says, I'm not your guru, I'm your mirror. So what are your thoughts on the guru and, people idolizing the person that they are learning from and performing spirituality?
Yeah. The reason I had to write it because I noticed the idolization of gurus. I remember working with someone who wanted to launch himself as a teacher, spiritual teacher and everything. And he was like, Chandresh, why you are going the reverse way? Like people want to be known as the guru and you're like, I'm not your guru. And I think the reason is because there was a lot of projection that came with this title. I mean, the South Asian community who knew my lineage, they would have their perception. He comes from this lineage. So he would do things this way. He would eat this. He would not eat that. So they assumed a lot of things. And same with, my audience, which is more mainstream. They also have assumptions. Guru means this and that. So I've written an entire chapter on Guru in the book Break the Norms, but it has not stopped the assumptions and projections. And I also feel in the past few years, I was craving to just be free, unleash myself. And this title of Guru was not letting me unleash myself because I would always notice there is a different rule for me. So if there's 10 people in the room, 9 can be angry, but I'm not allowed to be angry. You all can have, iced Pepsi. I'm not allowed to have. So little things. And and this is something I grew up with, always being seen through a certain lens. And I realized, I have to change this. So I remember then, changing the bio on the Instagram because, but if you ask me, I honor the title of Guru. Guru means someone who helps you understand your darkness so you can access your light. And I find that so powerful and profound. But how many people understand this definition also, right? It's Guru has become so casual. It's so much brand positioning and everything.
Yeah.
So I had to really step out of that space and redefine my expression and channel storyteller, poet. And then Guru can also join that. But I didn't want to be only seen as the Guru.
Yeah. And isn't the same too that I know with the shaman, you don't call we talked about this. You don't call yourself a shaman. The people that you help, they call you a shaman,
But you can't do anything about that. You know what I mean?
No,
you can only take whatever responsibility you take.
Is it the same with Guru though?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's for others to see that in you. But again, this is again rushed intimacy and slow intimacy thing. If someone immediately starts calling you Guru and they just discovered you 5 minutes ago, that's not a good sign usually. They are projecting something on you. Let that grow. Why there is rush to lock a Guru, I feel whenever we rush and react, it's coming from not so aligned space.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's so many questions I want to ask. We need to have you back because
I would
there's
love to
so
come
many
back.
things we can unpack. But maybe a nice closing note is if someone feels stuck, disconnected from the tantric energy, feels lost, like what's something that you would tell them?
Get in touch with your breath, number one, right? Start breathing slowly. Start feeling your breath. Make it a ritual on a daily basis. For 2 to 5 minutes, inhale the breath, hold the breath, and deeply exhale. Do it through the nostril. Your breath is your prana, the life force. Once you start building relationship with the breath, the body will start to feel safe, safe enough to express, safe enough to receive. And then, starts the next step. I think next step should be creativity. What is it you always wanted to express? What are you longing to tell the world? Start putting it on paper. Then blend in 5 minutes of meditation, not even 10, 15 or 20, simple 5-6 minutes. So starting with breath, then creativity, and then meditation, and build it over time. This will absolutely start to activate that self-awareness. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
And I have one final question.
Yeah.
What do you feel that people that you've worked with are most missing in spirituality or looking for, especially in 2025?
I feel so many people have been outsourcing their soul. They are so interested in, in an astrology app to tell them how their day would be, how their relationship would be. Or
that's true.
Constantly outsourcing, believing AI, some other voices to tell them how good they are or validating their existence. I would say stop outsourcing your soul. Get in touch with your breath. And secondly, stop focusing on being good and start being more free. People have been so consumed in being good to the employer, good to the family, good to the partner. They have been acting the goodness for so long that their primal energy is stagnant, it's dead. So they need to activate that, which will again happen through acknowledging, first of all, that they have been performing for so long. And this is now where it ends. Yeah.
Amazing. Aww.
Does this answer your...
Absolutely.
No, that was great.
That was great. We're like, keep talking. So what is next for you? We have your book
I know
here.
you wrote one book, and for the people that do want to check it out, it's called Break the Norms. Different. It'll look different if you buy it here. But Break the Norms, questioning everything you think you know about God, truth, life and death, love and sex. Amazing book.
Thank you.
Very excited for people that haven't checked it out. If you guys want to read it, they can buy it at
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then what about for the future? Any other books or
So
movies?
I think I haven't shared it anywhere, but I think in 2026 you may see a new book from me.
That's very exciting.
Something is in process.
Yeah.
Too early to even reveal the details, but it's happening. So this was written 10 years ago, Break the Norms. So straight after gap of 10 years, something new is coming. I'm still in process of discussing with publisher how it would look like, and still putting a lot of pieces together, but fingers crossed it's going to happen.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Amazing.
If people want to follow your journey, follow you, connect with you, work with you, how can they reach you?
I think the perfect space is always the website cbmeditates.com, Instagram cbmeditates. I've been writing on Substack. I have done only 4 podcasts this year, but I hope, you guys have inspired me. So I think I might get back to consistent podcast recording next year onward. But I think Instagram or website, both are CB Meditates.
Yeah.
That's usually a good place to start. Yeah.
And hopefully some more events.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Around, because we're here on Friday. I guess this will come out next week anyways. But Friday and Sunday, we have events here in Vancouver. And then... maybe we'll see what happens in 2026.
I love to come back.
Yeah.
Please,
more in
Vancouver
Vancouver.
needs you.
Yeah. And looking at other places in the world too, which I'm really excited about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. This is amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time and your energy
Thank
and
you
your
for having
wisdom.
me. This was so fun, to be honest.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
I couldn't sleep well last night. I don't know. I had a bit of...
Me either.
Me too.
It's the full moon.
It's a full moon, right? Always happens.
I gave myself like 9 hours to sleep and I feel like I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I got 5, but that was only because I worked late.
I had a mixed feeling on my way. I'm like, this traffic, I didn't sleep well. I hope I can do a decent job. Like I can get ideas. I was very nervous about if I can even tap into ideas. But I think honestly, you both have such a exciting and open and warm energy.
Aww.
I felt very like ready and relaxed.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. And it's funny. So I was talking to Cass outside. I was like,
I text her. I'm like, it's a full moon. Don't worry.
Yeah, because she's like, he's running late. I was like, good, same. And like also just like my head is just not functioning because of my lack of sleep yesterday. And I'm like, I'm gonna have a panic attack in the middle of this conversation. I'm gonna blank. I'm not gonna remember what I wanted to ask him. I'm not. Yeah. And it did. So likewise, I feel like your energy was very grounding. For me as well. So it was. Good. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad.
Is it still on?
It's still on. We can cut it, but sometimes we like to keep it in.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I noticed one thing in the middle of the conversation. You both have similar eye color, right?
Yeah.
Blue. Yeah.
That felt very powerful. Like it's almost like I'm sitting with two very interesting beings, same eye color.
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt.
That's
like,
fun.
Yeah.
She's got great eyelashes though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All good.